How you doing? I'm not really a conspiracy theorist or anything, but I watched the Orange Sea conference and watched the whole entirety, Trump's speech and everything. And I had an interesting thought. Ever since this whole assassination attempt occurred, I've been having this interesting thought about the whole event, and it's making me. I have a theory about what went down that day, and I'm not hearing other people point out this theory. It's just a theory I have because the whole situation with the assassination attempt just seems to me to be an inside job. And I know other people are making that kind of observation. And I'm not the kind of person that really believes in conspiracy theories. I'm a fan of Occam's razor. Usually, the more simple explanation is the correct explanation. But in this case, I'm not sure the most simple explanation is the official story that they're giving. The official story that they're giving is that some lone, crazy gunman, your typical school shooter type, 20-year-old with a childlike mentality, which in this case, I'll just call him, even though he's 20 years old, a kid, because yeah, he's got this. Anyone who has this kind of mentality is basically a kid, in my opinion. They have a childlike brain. So this kid, somehow was able to get onto a roof, only a couple yards, like 100 yards or so away from the president who was giving a speech, and he was able to give off like 6 or 7 shots. I don't know the official number, uh, but he was able to give off just enough shots. And the first shot he took actually actually pierced Trump's ear, which was only like a half a centimeter away from target, which would have killed Trump. And so it's like this miraculous thing that just by circumstance, it just seems very improbable that this kind of occurrence would have took place the way that it did. It's like the odds was very much against Trump, and that's why when the odds of someone getting hit where they're supposed to get hit here, like in the bullseye, and it was right on target, but Trump just so happens to a millisecond turned his head just right so that it actually got the ear instead. It's kind of improbability of that number that do the calculations on that. I don't know what I'm not a mathematician, so I don't know what all the calculations of that is, but let's just say the odds are very, very great. And so that's why people, usually when you're talking about odds that are this great, is people go into the supernatural, they go into the miraculous. And of course on the right you have the right looking at this as like a miraculous event. But what if the odds weren't so great? What if it wasn't so miraculous? What if instead it was scripted, right? Like this whole thing was a play. This was a production of sorts. So I started doing a little bit of digging into what could make this a production, because it seems like a movie, right? These kind of things only happen in the movies, and if they happen in a movie, you would look at it and you'd be like, well, I thought that part of the movie was a little unrealistic, but I could suspend my disbelief, right? Well, in this case, this is not even a movie. This is reality. This so just so happens to happen in real life, which makes it even far more unbelievable. So there's a second shooter theory. So you have the kid, he's posted on the roof, and then there's a water tower. And the second shooter theory is there was a second shooter on the water tower. Now, if you do start to piece some of the puzzle pieces together, you see that the Trump administration actually had a registry of gun enthusiasts, people who own a lot of guns. This kid's family, his mom, or his dad, or probably his dad, was a huge gun enthusiast. He owned a lot of guns, and they really like to shoot guns. And so they were on that Trump administration list. Also, there's a commercial with BlackRock, and BlackRock is kind of like this secret government organization. There's conspiracies, a lot of conspiracies about BlackRock being involved in some like malevolent kind of activities, secret activities, and they're involved in. And this kid just so happened to be in a commercial, a BlackRock commercial. I don't know if this is confirmed, but apparently so. There was a commercial, and this kid just so happened to be in it. He wasn't like I don't think a main focus of the commercial or anything. He just so happened to be in the background or whatever. Because BlackRock was doing some investments in this kid's school or something. So this got me thinking, there's connections here. There's connections with the Trump administration, having them on a registry. There's some connections with BlackRock, having this kid in one of the commercials. This kid does fit the profile of your typical school shooter, right? He was picked on, teased in school. He was a loner. He was kind of an outcast. No one liked him. He didn't like anybody. So he fit the description of a school shooter, someone who would probably do this if for any. Like some people are pointing out, there's no reason why this kid would have done this because he was a registered Republican, but if you think about the mentality of his kind of mindset, if he does fit the profile that people are talking about, it doesn't matter who he was shooting at. He would have shot at anybody. It just, on that particular day, Trump was in town and he chose Trump because he felt like, he would get more notoriety and glory. And that's all he really, in his crazy pathological mind, really wanted, was to get notoriety and notice. And so in his psychopathic mind, he thought the best notice I would get in this situation is if I shot at Trump. So that does make sense. And that more fits in line with the official story. But I thought, what if the second shooter theory is correct? Who was on that water tower? And why did this whole event seem like it was scripted, like a movie? Why was Trump not shook? Is Trump really the Trump, the guy who got out of the draft by complaining that he had burnt bone spores, like he got out of the draft, like he was too chicken to go fight for war. Trump was, when he was young. And suddenly he's this grown man now, and suddenly he has the resolve to not be shook by this event when it happened. Like he just immediately got up and he put his fist in the air and he yelled, "Fight, fight, fight." Like what if it was staged? What if Trump was behind it? What if they were select Secret Service agents that were also behind it? What if they had a Secret Service agent on the water tower, the second shooter? And what if the kid was on the roof? He was on the tower. And what if the Secret Service agent was the ones that was shooting into the crowd behind Trump? And his goal, his mission, was to shoot just past Trump like that. And you had the photographer too that maybe was in on it too, where he was able to get that perfect shot of the bullet just going past Trump. Just a perfect, okay, I'm timing it, go. And then he gets the shot, the bullet, you see the bullet, Trump goes, my ear, and he goes to the ground. And then another secret agent, while he's on the ground, takes out like a blade or something, cuts Trump's ear. Trump's like, "Oh man." Hey, it's to make it more realistic, right? His ear starts bleeding profusely. Why is my ear bleeding so much? We already told you your ear bleeds a lot. That's why we're going for the ear, because there's a lot of blood, and we need the blood, man. We need the blood, right? And Trump gets up, he raises his fist, fight, fight, fight. And so how does why is the kid even there then, right? Why is there a kid on the roof with a gun if he wasn't involved? Well, what if they approached this kid, right? Secret Service. We've been monitoring you, son, and we realize you're a registered Republican and you have shown, some support for Donald Trump, and I'll tell you what, kid, Trump really appreciates it. And we've been monitoring you. We seen you on one of our commercials. We think you have potential. We think you have the potential to really be a great Secret Service agent. And that's what we're recruiting, kid. We're recruiting people just like you that have the drive, who are gun enthusiasts. We've seen that you were very interested in that gun club at school, and they denied your admission. But we're here to tell you, kid, we seen you at the gun range, and we like how you shoot. We need undercover agents that we would like to post you, kid. We would like to post you on this roof at this next Trump rally. And all we need you to do is sit there and monitor their area, and just look out for anything that's unusual, right? And the kid's like, yeah, I would love to do this, right? This is my dream. This is what I've always wanted to do. And so they get the kid to do the whole thing. And then when the whole event happens, they take that one shot to the kid, and they kill the kid, and they pin it on the kid like he's the perfect scapegoat. So no one has to question who was the actual shooter. They have it all there. And then, Trump could come out at the RNC convention, which happened shortly after that, and he can do his whole pageantry about how, I was there, and like, I just turned my head slightly to the right to look at our immigration graph, because we did good things with immigration. We kept a lot of the illegals out. We kept a lot out. They weren't coming in during my administration. I turned my face slightly to the right, and if I would have turned it just more to the right, it would have been right on target, and I wouldn't be here today. I shouldn't be here. And the crowd's like, no, you should be here. You should be here. You should be here. No, don't think that. Don't think that. And Trump's like, no, I shouldn't be here. It's only by the grace of God that I'm here. And the whole crowd's like, oh, fight, fight, fight. It's like you couldn't make this shit up, is what I'm saying. You couldn't make this shit up. It all just seems too perfect, too scripted, like it's written for a movie. It's a production. But no, what I'm saying is a conspiracy theory. I completely made it up. I have no evidence for anything I just said. I'm just theorizing. And maybe the official story of a 20-year-old who was just able to, despite being pointed out by the crowd the whole time, get off all those shots on the president, with Secret Service members not apparently noticing for some reason, that whole thing, and Trump only getting grazed in the ear just a half a centimeter from death. All of that, the official story, that seems like the simpler explanation somehow.